"May I have your leftovers, sir?" What happened next shocked the whole city. He was just another man in a crowded food court wearing a neatly pressed suit, checking his phone, and eating a half-finished chicken wrap. But when a frail voice, behind him, quietly asked, "May I have your leftovers, sir?" his entire world shifted in a way he couldn't have imagined. David Whitmore was a mid-level manager in one of the biggest tech companies in the city. Life was fine, predictable, safe, and self-contained. He had his routines, his playlists, his coffee order memorized by baristas, and a desk filled with pictures of vacations he'd taken alone. He was neither cruel nor especially like most people, he lived in his bubble. It was a gray Tuesday when it all began. David was eating lunch in the corner booth at a mall food court. He hadn't even noticed the boy until the voice broke through his scrolling. "May I have your leftovers, sir?" Startled, David turned. A young boy, no older than 10, stood quietly in tattered clothes, his eyes sunken, and his hands trembling slightly. There was something in his voice that didn't sound like begging. It sounded more like survival. David frowned. "Where are your parents?" The boy looked down. "They're gone, sir." David hesitated, then handed over the rest of his meal. The boy took it gently, like he was afraid it might be snatched back. He didn't even sit, just walked to the nearest bench and ate slowly, savoring every bite. David watched in silence. Something about that moment clung to him long after the boy had disappeared into the crowd. That night, he couldn't sleep. The next day, David returned to the same spot. He waited. Hours passed. No sign of the boy. For the rest of the week, he kept going back, buying extra food, leaving it on the table in case the boy showed up. He didn't, but other children did. Hungry, barefoot, quiet. They didn't beg. They simply watched the trays, waiting for someone to leave a few fries or a half-eaten sandwich. David started talking to them. Most were orphans, runaways, or children of addicts. They slept behind dumpsters, in old stairwells, or under broken bridges. He couldn't unsee it anymore. Within 2 weeks, David had created a small group chat with local restaurant owners, asking if they could keep unsold food safely packaged instead of throwing it out. Surprisingly, many said yes, they just hadn't known what else to do with it. He rented a small van. He called it Leftovers of Love. What began as a one-man effort grew faster than he expected. Volunteers joined in: teenagers, mothers, taxi drivers, even elderly people who wanted to help cook or distribute meals. They weren't rich, but they were willing. Soon, Leftovers of Love had feeding spots around the city, providing hot meals to over 300 homeless people, many of them children. Local media picked up the story. Donations poured in. What once was a food court interaction had grown into a community movement, but the turning point came 3 months later. David was organizing food at one of the shelters when a boy approached him quietly. "You gave me your chicken wrap, remember?" It was the same boy. He looked healthier now, still small, but his eyes sparkled with light. His name was Leo. He had been living on the streets for nearly a year after his mother died and his aunt kicked him out. That leftover meal had been the first warm food he had eaten in days. David hugged him tightly. Something inside him breaking and rebuilding all at once. From that moment, David made Leo a part of his life: school enrollment, therapy, meals, and most importantly, love and consistency. Leo wasn't just a boy, he became family. The city council eventually honored David's initiative. He declined the award but used the platform to speak. "We walk past broken souls every day, not because we're heartless, but because we're blind by choice. I was, until one boy asked for my leftovers, and that changed everything." Today, Leftovers of Love serves over 2,000 meals weekly across the city. But more than that, it gave hundreds of invisible children a name, a voice, and a second chance. It all started with a half-eaten chicken wrap and a boy who dared to ask. And that's how one quiet question echoed through a city and awakened its heart.